Before you cut this off, cause I ain't rapping about weapons on my chain drip. We've been in chains since the slave ship now. All we talk about is how many whips you can get. All that I'm saying is, young brother, just sit and listen a bit. This is artist development. If you brush me off, you'll be where I've been. Making songs about a big body Benz that you ain't never had. You better off making songs that'll make your mama glad. Instead, she talking about cut it off. I don't wanna hear it at all. But when you making music from your heart, that problem solved. Hold up, wait just a minute. How could I tell you all of this if I ain't did it? Just think of me as a prophet, giving you a prediction that it's hard to get fame, even harder once you get it. We often fantasize because we handle what's envisioned. I just say define success for you and go the distance. Hold up, wait, pause, are you serious? I really don't want to be famous, not even curious. I'm just doing this now because my knowledge need to be dropped. And what better way for you to learn while hearing the beat drop? All my young people, don't get fooled by the trickery. Don't get fooled by the lies. Do it from your heart, do it for you. Build it, and they shall come.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man, we got one child here that's not feeling well. Hold on one second, y'all. Hey, Eli, can you turn the TV down just a little bit for me, please?
These are the cases that captivated the world. Couldn't keep my life straight. That demanded our attention. They were filled by their own children that challenged the legal and ourselves.
Hold on, y'all. Yeah. Alright, so here we go. Let me get all my chats up. Let me get all my screens up. Let me get y'all put together. Cause hold on. I had that part done. And I got some. Did I do motivation? What's today? Wednesday? Oh, motivation for women today. I'm like, hold on. I know today gotta be. We ain't miss motivation for my women out there. No, we ain't miss it. So I'm gonna get y'all motivation while I get set up. I ain't gonna delay. Don't delay. Motivation for today. All right, AGTA, and you can tune into DGTA. All right, let's go. We might have to start searching for new places to get our motivation. Motivation for. Did we ever do grandmoms? Grandmoms. Did we ever do grandmoms? Maybe we should do moms. Yeah, we did grandmoms. Let's do sisters. Sisters sound good. If y'all typing in the chat already, y'all too slow. I already typed sisters. Okay, so don't type in the chat and say nothing. Motivation for sisters. You know we gotta do motivation for my women out there today. All right, rainbow in somebody's cloud. We can get some Maya Angelou. I think we be seeing a lot of this, so we're gonna be searching for new places to get some motivation. But let's see what we got if we put this in real quick. There's a ribbon in the sky for you know how I go down. All right, so hold on. Sister Circle, phone circle, motivates you. Confront your toxic sister. God dang. I send a message to the sister every day for 5 years. Support. Okay, hold on. Support for sisters. That's what I'm hearing. Let me see what's up. Maybe they got something like that out there. Brothers hack each other. I don't. Alright, look, check this out. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. I'm gonna just do it like this. Sister. There it is. I spelled sister wrong. We was watching that, but I ain't going back to watching it unless y'all want to. Let's do it. I got it in my notes too.
Whoa. What's that?
Yep, that's right here. Girl, get up. Sarah Jakes.
Nina just built an app.
Impossible. Nina can't.
You see it. I wasn't just playing with y'all.
If you think about it,
Let's
when
work.
Eve came into the world, she had this innocence about her. She had never known pain. Everything was set up in such a way that she only could flourish. And the moment that she ate from that fruit, it was like a part of her died. So I guess God wasn't lying when he said if you eat from the fruit that you will surely die, because there was a part of her that she could never access again because she ate from the fruit. I call that casket that follows us into our relationships, into our worlds, into our societies and cultures. We're all carrying a casket. We're carrying this moment that forever shifted how we saw the world. We're carrying this moment that forever changed our ability to be innocent and carefree, because pain met us, and when pain met us, it changed us. It would be one thing to just have a casket, but Eve has to deal with the issue of carrying a casket and a curse. Yeah, that part of her died, and it wasn't enough for it to be dead, but now she's dealing with the curse attached to the casket. Let me make it plain for you, Free Chapel. It's like you end up in a bad relationship, and the bad relationship changes the way you see every other man after that relationship. The relationship was the casket, but your shift in perspective was the curse. The abandonment that we suffer as children that makes it difficult for us to be vulnerable to other people. The abandonment was the casket, but the curse was that we couldn't let anyone else in. Yeah, in a room this size, there's probably thousands of caskets and curses attached to our lives. And so as I have been diving into the story of Eve, I recognize that in many capacities, each of us have an Eve that is attached to our name. I love it because when God gives the curse to Eve and to the serpent, he tells the serpent that he's going to put enmity between the woman and him. And that ultimately he's going to slither around on his belly, and he's going to eat dust, and he's going to be cursed more than all of the beasts. But he tells him your greatest issue is not going to be that you're on your belly. Your greatest struggle is that there's going to be enmity between you and the woman. How do I know that that was going to be his greatest struggle? Because the word continues in Genesis 3:15, and it says that she is going to have her heel bruised by the serpent, but ultimately her heel, her seed, would crush his head. That's powerful. That gives hope in the middle of caskets and curses, that there's a cross. Yeah, even though she's probably in the most broken moment in her life, the most shame-filled moment in her life, in the middle of those cracks, in the middle of that pain, there was this promise that God inserts that when it's all said and done, it may look like the enemy won this moment, but when everything is said and done, I'm going to give the woman a seed. And when she produces that seed, it's going to crush the head of the serpent. So never sleep on a woman who has a casket and a curse, because she also has a seed attached to her name. And the enemy's greatest threat is going to be the woman, a woman who figures out that the heel couldn't keep her from walking into the next dimension of her destiny. The enemy's greatest threat is going to be the fact that bruised heels still crush serpent's head. And that has been the foundation of me seeing women in Eve differently. And so when I find this little girl in this text, I couldn't help but see her like Eve. A little girl who had lost her innocence and who was on her deathbed. And I was studying, and when the text continues, I think it's important for us to realize that when her father first meets Jesus, the little girl is not dead yet. That when her father first has an encounter with Jesus, that he says, "My daughter is sick." Because you don't just turn off. You don't just die. There is this slow fading of your hope, this slow fading of your healing, this slow fading of your purpose. God, help me, because I know I'm in the right room. When Jairus comes up to Jesus, his daughter is just sick. For the sake of this conversation, I want to submit to you that Jairus and the daughter are one unit. There's one part of Jairus, his daughter, who is sick, but there's another part that's fighting to be healed. And it's important for us to realize, because if we don't realize that, then we will think that there's only one part of us, and that's the part of us that's been hurt, and that's the part of us that is sick. But there's also another part of us that is fighting to be healed. Where I'm from, we call that part like praying grandmothers. That there was someone who created an environment for you to register for a conference because they were fighting for your destiny. And all they were saying is, if you could just get into the room, then I could get you to the Savior. And if you could get to the Savior, then I know for sure you don't have to die where your sickness met you. There's always going to be somebody fighting on your behalf, whether you can see them or not see them, whether you're connected to them or not connected to them. God has orchestrated your life in such a way that he has people praying for you who you haven't even met yet. I was praying for you when I was on the airplane. They were praying for you when they put this conference together. Not because they know you, not because they understand every situation you've gone through, but because they know all you need is a revelation from God.
Right,
and if you receive a revelation from God, no weapon formed against you will prosper. Not even the ones that have been formed in your own mind. There's always going to be somebody fighting for your destiny. And I would just like to take a moment and thank God for the people who fought for me when I couldn't fight for myself. The people who saw something in me when I couldn't see it in myself. For the people who created environments for me to flourish when I felt like I was dying. Jairus is fighting for his daughter. And when he's fighting for his daughter, he has to contend with the fact that Jesus is in great demand. And he comes up to Jesus and he says, Jesus, my daughter needs a healing. Can you please come to my house? And the daughter is sick, and she goes from sick to dead. She goes from sick to dead. And you know what happened in between her going from sick to dead? Jesus was healing other people. I felt like, wow, this has got to be training ground for what it feels like to be a woman. Because there are so many moments where parts of our dreams and our desires go from just being sick to dead because we were trying to make sure other people were healed.
Are you
Okay.
having trouble trying to keep up with
That
your
was
professor?
yo.
You've got to try Otter. Here's how
They
it
know
works.
when to put them commercials in. They definitely know when to put them commercials in. All right. So let's move forward real quick. Hold on. All right. So today we are exploring inside the journey. Now, this is Finding Our Way Wednesday, right? Finding Our Way Wednesday. What I mean when I say exploring inside the journey, you usually take a trip, and when you take a trip, you go from start to finish. And we all know in between, if it's a road trip long enough, even if it's a trip down the street to the store, there's the ride in between, baby. You know what I'm saying? You get there, you get what you need, and you get up out of there. All right? So what we are doing is we just exploring that inside part, you know, the inside of your journey. And right now, it may be the present moment, but it is soon fading to the past and moving to the future. And so with that, let's see what we've been doing. And some of those things consist of like just stopping and smelling the flowers. You could be getting a gift for someone that you know, and that's what's making you feel good. But the point of doing this on today and Finding Our Way Wednesday is so that we can get a reference point and we can move back out again expeditiously and with courage and with hope and with pride, you know, with pride and all of the above. All right. So let's make ourselves feel good with some quotes. Quotes about life's journey. Let's see. Y'all know what time it is. We can get some nice speech talking to us like this here. And with your life comes marvelous things. Marvelous things.
One day, all those late nights and early mornings will pay off. Be valuable, not available.
Run that back a taste.
Be valuable, not available. If you're brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello.
That's my man.
An eagle uses the storm to reach unimaginable heights. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him.
Okay.
The things hardest to bear are sweetest to remember. The best thing I ever did was stop telling people what's going on in my life.
That's my man's. I ain't wanna know anymore.
Words are like keys. If you choose them right, they can open any heart and shut any mouth.
You know what? You know what? It's funny. I want y'all to know that these commercials know exactly when to run. I promise you they know exactly when to run. Because I thought in that exact moment, just right then, man, I want to run that back. Because we need to hear that again. Commercial.
You only walk on sunny days. You'll never reach your destination. You only
people.
Mouth. If you only walk on sunny days, you'll never reach your destination. People inspire you, or they drain you. Pick them wisely. Allow yourself to be a beginner. No one starts off being excellent.
That's my people.
Do it alone. Do it broke. Do it tired. Do it scared. Just do it.
Do it. That's my people.
Never make a permanent decision based on temporary feelings. Life has many different chapters for us. One bad chapter doesn't mean it's the end of the book. Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow there.
That's my people. That's my people.
Be proud. You survive. Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow there.
That's my people right there. Y'all need that. Y'all need that. We gonna stop right there. Hold on. I want to move forward, but we gonna stop it right there. That's good right there. So those are just a little bit of a booster to get us started for looking at this thing. And I could have a bunch of videos play of different people talking to us about life and its journey and all of that. But I want to watch another video. Let me see. See if that get me the video that I was looking for. Hold on. Dang, it ain't. Dang, I can't find the video that I want. Hold on. Because it gives an excellent reference to what it is that I'm trying to. Well, we'll do it different then. All right, so here we go. I think that's kind of. Let's see somebody completing one. I think this will be easier.
Hey, how old are you?
How old do you think I am?
83.
You're very kind. I'm 95.
And yourself? Almost?
89.
What does it feel like to be 95 and 89?
We don't feel our age at all times. We do at certain times. We each have certain issues, but we're lucky to be walking under the sun on a day like today.
If you look at the 20-somethings of today, is there something you don't like about them?
And I think life is more difficult today for younger people than it was when we were young.
In what sense?
In every sense.
I don't think they're as concerned about tomorrow as we were.
We thought of the future. I don't think they care. They just spend.
If you could go back in time and give advice to your younger self, what advice would you give to him and her?
Try to be as positive as you can, because tomorrow's going to be a better day unless you make it a worse day.
Is there a cherishable item that either of you have that you've kept with you throughout the years?
One or another. One or another.
I love that. Hey, how old are you?
How old?
That's right. And my people. Hold on, let me save that. Let's do more. Let's do some more.
Growing up, I was into dinosaurs and thought it would be sick to hunt for fossils, but then the real world hit. Here's how to figure out what to do with your life. As soon as I got into college, I crossed out those old dreams. The only thing I was allowed to dream about was increasing shareholder value. Was I happy with these options? No. But coming from a first-gen background, I knew I had to prioritize money. But this can't be it.
Background. Hey, y'all heard that? That's a key word right there. First-gen background. You got to do everything. You can't do one thing, got to do everything. And the grandchildren get to do one thing.
Find something at the intersection of what I can be paid for, what I love, what the world needs, and what I'm good at. This is the Japanese concept known as ikigai, which means a reason for being. And thankfully, you all helped me find it. Growing up, I was
we back where we started at with the ikigai. Just a little bit of purpose in your life. And really, if you were to frame it like, all right, life's journey is my purpose, then it really wouldn't get you very far because you're already in your purpose. And so it's like a car, making a car to sit in. You could have just made a chair. By the time you get done with the car and you sit in it, you might find some other uses for it. You see what I'm saying? So it's just it's fuel. You see what I'm saying? And it's a cool word too, ikigai. But that's just me. All right, let's see what we see.
I'm not wishing you must lose, but suppose tomorrow you lost half your money and your mind says, I want to die. Close your mouth, hold your nose like this for 2 minutes. Your body says, to hell with your money, I want to live. I'm not wishing you must lose, but suppose tomorrow you lost half your money and your mind says, I want to die. Close your mouth, hold your nose like this for 2 minutes. Your body says, to hell with your money, I want to live. Tomorrow, you found your love affair collapsed and your mind says, I want to die. Check. The life within you says, to hell with your love affair, I want to live. So I want to know the most important thing that's happening to you right now is life itself, not the fancy thoughts that you have, not the emotions that you have, not financial arrangements or family arrangements or whatever rubbish you have built around you. These are all accessories to life. These are all frills. Frills are so much you're missing the skirt, that's a whole problem with you.
Appreciate that, Sadhguru. Look, in appreciation of that message, we're gonna take a few seconds and just sit in silence and enjoy life. I don't know if you eating, I don't know if you standing up, sitting down, whatever. We just gonna sit here. Just enjoy life. Just because you're here. That's enough time. So the reason why I do that and the reason why I recommend that just now is because life is, hey, look, I'm making this up. There's the only time y'all rarely hear me say that, but I'm making this up. Life is cake you can have and eat too. Would you agree or not agree?
We look down now to 16-year-olds and say, where are you going to go to college? What are you going to do for the rest of your life? And it's like, they're not fully baked yet.
That's my guy.
What's more beneficial, in fact, can serve as a tremendous amplifier on all endeavors that you engage in, especially hard endeavors, is to A, not start layering in other sources of dopamine in order to get to the starting line, not layering in other sources of dopamine in order to be able to continue, but rather to subjectively start to attach the feeling of friction and effort to an internally generated reward system. And this is not meant to be vague. This is a system that exists in your mind, that exists in the minds of humans for hundreds of thousands of years, by which you're not just pursuing the things that are innately pleasurable, food, sex, warmth.
Right.
The effort part is
what you're
part.
searching for.
I know it's painful. I know this doesn't feel good, but I'm focused on this. I'm going to start to access the reward. You will find the rewards, meaning the dopamine release, inside of effort if you repeat this over and over again.
Right. That's my man's. We're going to get one more.
3 things you should do to live a peaceful life. 1. Do not let others' words to ruin your peace. 2. See the good in everyone and everything. And 3. Fall in love with silence and stillness.
Fall in love with silence and stillness. Did we like? Oh. Go back. Gotta make sure we save. They be disappearing. Alright, so life is a journey. AI music. Let's see what they got. Let's see if they got a song out there for us. Yep, they got an AI song. Let's see what this one talking about, y'all. Maybe I add it to the playlist. The last couple been good. I ain't gonna front on you. Let's see what they got.
Life is a journey, not a straight line. Some roads are broken, some still shine.
That's my guy. Hey, look, what's hell?
We walk with questions, hearts unsure.
Right.
looking for answers, hoping for more. Every step teaches what words never could. Through highs that feel right, those misunderstood. We fall, we rise, we learn to stay, finding our strength along the way. Every scar has something to say. Every night turns into day. Life is a journey, not a race. Every tear leaves a trace. Through the storms, through the pain, we grow stronger again and again. Life is a journey, slow and true, becoming who we're meant to be. Me and you. Some dreams fade, some come alive. Some goodbyes hurt just to survive. But even silence has a sound. If you listen, hope is found. The road gets lonely, heavy to bear. But courage is born when you choose to care.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't need wings, just faith to fly. Stars look closer when you try. Every loss shapes who you are. Even broken hearts still spark. Life is a journey, not a race. Every tear leaves a trace. Through the storms, through the pain, we grow stronger again.
Hey, what up, Jay? Good to see you, man. Good to have you in there.
It's okay to slow, you're not lost. You're just learning to grow every step. Even in doubt is what this journey's all about. Life is a journey. Hold on tight. Even dark roads lead to light. One day you'll see how far you
Yeah, let's go.
every struggle worth the pain.
Woo!
Life is a journey, just believe. The best chapters are yet to be. Life is a journey.
Oh, hit that guitar, boy. You better play that.
And you're right where you need to be.
Yo, that's fire right there. I ain't gonna lie, I like that. So when I listen for, let me turn my mic down. So when I listen to music, I'm listening for the synchronicity of it all, not necessarily how it line up, but how it lines up with what I need for the moment.
In this video,
and this is what I mean. For example, you wouldn't go and take a laxative when your ankle broke and you got a cast on. You're not gonna take a laxative. You see what I'm saying? You're not gonna take aspirin when you constipated. You're gonna do the appropriate. You're gonna take the appropriate medication or the appropriate thing for the time. And just like eating a bunch of food ain't necessarily gonna make quench your thirst. So for me, when I'm listening to the music, I'm searching for something at the moment that is going to line up with how I feel in a way to empower it. Not to just make me boop, boop, boop. But that's how they get you. But that's how it works, though. And I'm pretty sure that maybe how everybody else does it, too. But putting it in that frame of reference gives you a visual on how it looks. You know, you kind of, you hungry and you got a smoothie. No, I'm hungry, want some fries, and maybe want some chicken. You see what I'm saying? So this song right here lined up, I think it lined up pretty well with what we was trying to do. Anyway, life is a journey. I'm gonna have to listen to it a couple more times, you feel what I'm saying, later on in the day. But anyway, I'm pretty sure, did I put it on the playlist? Sorry y'all, I gotta do these things right at the moment or they won't get done. Music of Expansion Pack, that's the one I wanted on. Life is a journey. Yours, eh? Anyway, let's watch some more of this stuff that I was searching. Life is a journey. Let's take a journey into sound. Let's see what's up.
Something I'd like to say to our viewers today is, please, please, please celebrate your progress. And don't only think about how far you have to go.
Yeah, that's a great
And some things are going to be harder than others. Something I'd like to say to our viewers today is, please.
Thank you, lady. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I think that sounds much better. Alright. Ooh, let's see what Burr talking about.
To know what the true meaning of life is. Okay, 1,000 people die. That's over 6.
Jeez.
Every
that's
day,
my
over
guy.
150,000 people die. That's over 6,000 people every hour, over 100 people every minute, and about 2. Others fell off a cliff. Others may have had a heart attack, and
Jeez,
others.
why we gotta start? Yeah, bruh.
Interesting, because even though we all logically know this, very few of us have really internalized this. How many of you have really sat down with your eyes closed in an empty room and truly imagined what your funeral would look like? Like, who would even be at your funeral? And it also makes you question the way most people interact with one another. Like, why do so many people get so angry with each other? Or why do people argue with each other? Why do people physically harm one another? Why are there so many parents who yell at their kids or even beat their kids? Why do so many spouses who supposedly love each other fight all the time? Why are there siblings who don't speak to each other to this day over some disagreement that took place years ago? Why do best friends talk badly about each other behind each other's back? Why do human beings behave like this? I think a part of it is because we really have not sat down to really think about what the true meaning of life is. And I also think that most people really have not come to terms with the fact that they are not going to be here forever. And to be honest, I don't really claim to know what the true meaning of life is. Okay, I think it's something that our human brain can't fully logically understand. It would kind of be like trying to explain consciousness to a dog or a cat or something. They just can't understand it. However, what I will say is there are some things that I think everyone should know. And I think the first step to actually understanding a topic like the meaning of life is to first align ourselves with the 4 truths of the universe. And the first truth is the truth of cause and effect, which means that every single thing you do or say has some kind of effect on the world around you and yourself. For example, let's say a number of years ago you lost your temper and you got really mad at a loved one in your life. This could be a family member or a friend or even that random person on the street that one single incident where you lost it will have a lingering effect on that person to this day.
forever.
Now, with that being said, it doesn't have to be some huge effect. It could be a very mild and small effect, and it could be buried deep within their subconscious that isn't necessarily visible on the exterior. But make no mistake, the effect is there, and it will always be there, and there is nothing that you can do to undo that. And the reason why most people hate hearing this is because it instantly makes them accountable for every single thing that they have ever done. And being held accountable is something that most human beings
That's funny
hate.
because we
Now,
told that.
to be clear, I'm not saying that we should all dwell in the past and feel sorry for ourselves, but what it does mean is that going forward, you should be very conscious of the things that you say and the things that you do within this world.
Yes,
and
sir.
if you feel like you behaved in a way or you really lost it on someone, you can always apologize to that person, because it is never, ever too late to say, I'm sorry. And the second truth of the universe is the law of impermanence, which means that every single thing here on Earth is temporary, like our bodies, our minds, our relationships, even our brains, even the video that you are watching right now. This video will probably be gone one day, because the sun could explode and every single thing could be gone within a second. And funny enough, this is actually a good thing, and it shouldn't really make you feel bad or sad, because it's none of those things. What it should make you do is really cherish each and every single moment that you have here on Earth. And to be clear, they don't have to be these big special moments. They can be any moment, like that one time where you laughed so hard that tears fell from your eyes, or maybe it was that time where you simply were sitting alone and you were just gazing at the sunset. Because all we really have in this lifetime is the present moment. And the third truth is the law of suffering and attachment. Any time that we become attached to something or someone, you are basically making a contract with yourself to be unhappy. Because like we just discussed, nothing here on Earth is permanent. Which means that you will eventually lose that loved one, or you will eventually lose that watch, or that car, or that family member. Even your own body, you are going to lose. And the fourth truth is that we all are going to die one day. And the death truth is typically the toughest one for most people to accept, because it often makes people really sad. But death does not have to be this horribly bad thing, or even a sad thing, because without death, the moments with our friends or our family would not really be that special or deep. Without death, everything would eventually become dull and meek and gray, and there would be no incentive to really love and cherish the moments that we have with one another. There would be no incentive to really laugh deeply or love deeply or even to be present. And these are the things that truly make life rich and worth living. And on top of that, death is one of those things that truly does connect all of us, because it makes you realize that you and the 7 other billion people here on Earth really are all on the same team, because this is our time. This is our time to collectively live life to the fullest as one. So the next time that you feel the need to yell at that loved one, or to yell at that person who cut you off in traffic, or to get revenge on that person who wronged you in the past, just remember that you are choosing to actively hurt your very own teammates. Make every moment count.
And my
Love
people.
deeply, laugh deeply.
Y'all,
and
my
be present
people.
for the
I be
moment.
saying that
Because at the end of the day, all we really have in life is the present moment, so don't let it go to waste. If you want to learn more about life and motivation, then
That's
go
my people.
ahead and click the video on the screen right now. I promise.
All right. Growing up in the 80s. Let's look at a couple more of these videos like we used to.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44.
Well, maybe,
This is
yeah.
the first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder. And you wouldn't believe the kind of apps that people are creating. Smart nutrition apps.
Cartoons. The 80s turned Saturday mornings into magic. Kids would wake up early, grab a bowl of sugary
Nah, I think
cereal,
it gotta
and settle
be
in for
7.
hours of animated adventures like...
There we go. Let's see what's up. Raised
G'day,
without
legends, and
Wi-Fi.
welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a bit of a trip. Not to Bali, not to the Goldie, but back in time. Back to the glorious, sunburnt, slightly reckless era of the 70s and 80s here in Australia. An era when the sun was...
Australia.
Out to Led Zeppelin. The music of the 70s had a vibe that
Led
you can't
Zeppelin.
match. It wasn't just on the radio, it was in your soul. And let's not forget about disco, the glitter, the platforms,
Y'all
the
dance to
moves on the dance
disco?
floor. Nothing beats a Saturday night at the disco ball lit club. The 70s truly had it all when it came to tunes. In the 70s, if you missed a family dinner, you were pretty much out of the loop. It wasn't just about eating, it was about connecting. Dinner time was sacred. The TV
Watch
was
this,
off.
y'all.
The phones,
I didn't put
if
Australia.
they even existed, were put away, and it was a no-excuse rule. Whether it was
Watch
meatloaf,
this, hold on.
spaghetti, or that green Jell-O with the weird fruit inside, you know the one.
All right. Let me see something.
The 70s was a fertile landscape for black culture to evolve, grow, and begin penetrating the mainstream. It was also an interesting time for black political thought.
That's the only thing I agree with. Black folks trying to loot when they should be shooting. If you're gonna loot, loot your gun store.
And I don't particularly care whether I walk alongside, in back of, or in front of. That is going to have to be defined for me by my man.
The black look also began to change.
That my girl. Ooh, that's my girl right there. I'll let you, girl. Hey, what you doing something late? Jeez.
The reality of black life in the 70s directly speaks to the reality of black life now. So, pay attention.
That look like Daryl.
Speaks to the reality of black life now. So, pay attention.
Yeah.
Another leader ain't gonna do nothing but get ripped up again, send to prison, and get shot or something. Get more and more and more. Hey man, how far can we go?
We gonna watch this.
Picture it, Los Angeles, 1977. Kermit Washington of the LA Lakers has just punched Houston Rockets player Rudy Tomjanovich
Oh, Jesus.
after an unclear scuffle that Rudy was attempting to mediate. The punch fractured Rudy's face, and he was left unconscious in a pool of blood. Rudy eventually sued the Lakers and Washington for $2.6 million in damages, and the jury was so horrified that they awarded him $3.3 million. This punch would earn Kermit a $10,000 fine and a 60-day no-pay suspension. This punishment equaled ones for players who gambled on games or players caught using steroids. But fights? Previously, such fines were around $250 to $2,500. During the 1976 season, for example, there were 41 fights and the highest fine was $2,500. Shit, fan violence in the basketball stands had grown in the late 70s, and journalist Peter Greenberg spoke with experts who found white working-class fans were usually at the center of such fights. But this punch of a white man from a working-class background by a black man was heard round the world. It was played repeatedly on TV and featured in newspapers. Kermit received hundreds of racist letters and death threats, saying things like, "All you black niggers are the same, animals." This spoke to a larger, long-held belief that black male violence was exceptional and pathological, and that white male violence is not. The punch was an event that made basketball fans long for the NBA golden age of the 50s and 60s, where the workforce was mainly white. Teams had an unofficial quota for black players, 3 or 4 max. The 70s is what is sometimes referred to as the NBA's dark ages, where 75% of the players were black and there was more aggressive street ball style play. NBA lawyer David Stern said in the late 70s that the league was seen as too black, too violent, and too drug involved. Meanwhile,
I
the
can
violence
imagine.
that occurred in hockey, a largely white sport, was spun as an outlet for the silent majority to vent their frustrations and became a celebrated part of the sport. But hostility towards black players was deeper than gameplay styles, violence, or accusations of drug use. Prior to 1964, players had no pension or health care benefits and were given a $7 per day allowance. Conditions changed when the NBA began recognizing the National Basketball Players Association, which has since grown to be one of the most powerful and effective unions in the world. Black players who
we
in
gonna
the
keep
70s
watching
were
this.
becoming
This is
the
good.
bulk of the NBA were reaping the benefits of the players union in a time when the country was experiencing recurring economic turmoil. Their behavior on and off the court was criticized. Team owners, league officials, and white commentators spun them as greedy, ungrateful, and lazy. I'm not saying the players shouldn't be fined for fighting, but the sensationalization of the punch and the death of Kermit Washington's career and reputation for decades to come reflected America's own distaste for the new race dynamics. As the 60s came to an end, white liberals celebrated civil rights wins, but many were shocked when black people and other racial minorities refused to adapt to white culture or continued protesting various issues, fucking up fantasies for a cohesive American identity or melting pot.
Yeah.
It certainly didn't help matters that by the 70s, black culture and talent was available for consumption more than ever, giving the community more power. Black people weren't just 75% of the NBA and over 30% of the NFL in the 70s. They were increasingly popping up on TV and in the movies. Popular TV shows included Good Times, Sanford and Son, Fat Albert, That's My Mama, and Soul Train.
It will be necessary to get a detailed report of the circumstances surrounding A, the burglary itself, B, the nature of the physical assault perpetrated on the victim. He wants the tea on what got snatched and how you got wiped out.
So, before we go for the day, I'm going to talk, because I didn't expect this to go like that. I ain't going to lie to you. I was just wanting to look at how it was back in the day. But theoretically, it is how I wanted it to go. Think about how we got to right here sitting with me, black man, talking to you in this country. I wasn't there for that part of the journey. But I have been reaping the rewards. Education. I can pretty much say what I want to say when I want to say it. Do what I want to do when I want to do it. Not barring the color of my skin walking in somewhere and being like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm reaping the benefits of that. So appreciate y'all on that part of the journey. But really, I didn't expect the video to go like that, and I'm gonna bookmark this for anybody who want to continue to watch this and go further from here. All right, knowledge of expansion pack, boom, and we're gonna like it. All right, so that's all for me today. This is my message to my viewers and anybody who listens or watches my show at this point. We here now. Later we gonna be over there. Alright? Or we might be over there. But we're in this reality all together. Whether you here or over there or under there or underwear. We are here in this reality together. A bit of understanding would be nice. A bit of cooperation would be nice. And just a little bit of compassion. Just a little bit of empathy. That's all. Because we all are here. It's like sharing a room with your older brothers. They already picked their spot, so what you gonna do? Y'all gonna work together with me, or I'm gonna just have to... Now I got to do something. You see? And that doesn't make for a good situation if there's not any understanding. If there's not any compassion. If there's not any care. And there's not any... If there's all just disarray or no form of cooperation or a common goal or purpose. And so if we can find that and we can get it together for each other, well, for ourselves, then undoubtedly some way, somehow we will get it together for each other. that's it for me for the day. I'm gonna play y'all one of my songs as I leave for y'all to hear because I like it. I don't pick it sometimes, but today I did. Y'all listen to this, enjoy, and I'm gonna holla at y'all later. Tomorrow is Healthy Mental Thursday. If y'all have any suggestions on anything y'all want to hear, see, talk about in the show, please feel free to hit me up on any of the social media sites. I see the comments, I see the chat, I see y'all dropping in and out. So please just let me know some topics if you want to talk about something. Once again, this is DGTA TV. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Chill. I play too much. Peace. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and do all of the above. Come back tomorrow. This is DGTA TV.
I done worked so hard to get to define a life. You ain't on that type of time that I like. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. In my life. In my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through in my life. In my life. In my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through in my life. I done worked so hard to get to define a life. You ain't on that type of time that I like. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. In my
Everybody
life.
say they hit the block hard. Can't be nothing but a G from the hood if you want you a black card. But that won't me. I was wondering about the stars. I left high school and didn't know my physical form. My mental picture wasn't formed by where my was going. I put the pencil to the pad to study how to reality form. School board type sitting in front of the class. Got good grades, understanding the task. Got older, changed my whole style up a bunch. Things I never did, I started to do them a bunch. Mistakes that I made like a weight and it's starting to feel like I turned my life. I only get one, nothing under the sun. Can't be new if it's done. Truth is meant only for some. Learn that I became the one. First person view looking through my eyes at what I become. Win, 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 now I done won. Live, love, laugh, learn what to do. Wisdom serve like some soul food. I ain't been through what you've been through, but I've been through what I've been through. So this song just to tell you about my life. My life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through in my life. In my life. In my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through in my life. I done worked so hard to get to define a life. You ain't on that type of time that I like. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. I done worked so hard to get to define a life. You ain't on that type of time that I like. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. In my life. In my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through in my life. In my life. In my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through in my life. I done worked so hard to get to define a life. You ain't on that type of time that I like. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. You ain't been through none of this that I've been through up in my life. In my life.